After completing my 10th class exams in 1979, my father suggested that I go and help my father's uncle and learn astrology. Mathematics being my favorite subject, I learned the calculations. My grandfather taught me how to calculate the inclinations of each planet and how to calculate the lagna and the meridian center MC, and he gave me some birth charts to draw. Thus, I learned how to draw the birth charts first and showed interest in predictions. So, my grandfather told me some predictions, some of the tips that he usually uses for predictions, and after learning those tips, I documented some of them. I verified with my father. While my father and my grandfather have laid the foundation for me to get interested in astrology, for almost a decade or 2 decades, I didn't show any interest.
Let me go and reiterate the important days in the whole year 2019, that has an important planetary combination and will have an impact on the NATO based upon the NATO's natal chart and the planets and the Mahadasa that is running for that particular NATO. Here we'll start at 15th March till 8th May. Transit Jupiter residing in Scorpio will be in Rashi Sandhi. So those who have the Jupiter as their Mahadasa, Vimshottari Mahadasa, and Jupiter have owning some of the important houses or residing in some of the important houses will have an impact. The impact will be in positive if Jupiter is benefic and having the benefic planet aspects or co-joining, and will be negative if the natal Jupiter is a malefic or co-joined with malefic planets in the natal chart. And the same way is on 29th March all the way till 22nd April, both Jupiter and Saturn, transit Jupiter and transit Saturn, are co-joined in Sagittarius. That's a very important period. That 23 days is very important for a number of people, especially for people like me, because Sagittarius is my 8th house from Natl Moon. Transit Saturn residing in 8th house from Natl Moon is Ashtama Shani, which I am going through, and I have the Saturn Mahadasa running, and now transit Jupiter is co-joining with transit Saturn in the 8th house. And for my chart, Jupiter is the 4th and 7th house lord. Okay, and the next one is from 22nd April till 1st September. Transit Jupiter who will begin its retrograde motion and slowly goes to Scorpio and stays in Scorpio. And then again 22nd April to 23rd April, that's just one day, transit Jupiter will be in stationary mode. So that's a very important day for a number of people, and that includes me. And then again on 23rd May and 24th May, transit Saturn will be in stationary mode, because that's the date. On 24th May, transit Saturn will start its retrograde motion. So before going on retrograde, it will be stationary. So this is a powerful day. Transit Saturn being static, and that's the very powerful time. So that is 23rd to 24th May. The next one is from 8th May till 23rd June. Transit Saturn will have a direct aspect on transit Mars. So depending upon the role of Mars, you will have the impact. From 17th June till 16th July, transit Saturn will have a direct aspect on transit Sun. As I said earlier, depends on what the role of Sun is in your natal chart. On 1st September through 2nd September, transit Jupiter will be in stationary mode, because on 1st September until 1st September Jupiter was in retrograde motion, and on 1st September it becomes stationary and then starts in forward motion. So that's very important day. Again, 5th October to 6th October, transit Jupiter Saturn will be in stationary mode. Remember, I told you that transit Saturn will start its retrograde motion somewhere in 24th or 25th of May, and it will be in retrograde motion all the way till 4th October. On 5th or 6th of October, during the 24-hour star period, transit Saturn will be in stationary mode, and after 6th October, it will approximately after 6th October, it will start moving in the forward direction. Again, from now 11th November all the way till the end of year, transit Jupiter and transit Saturn are co-joined in Sagittarius. That's a very, just like you had it from 22nd April till just like you had it from 29th March till 22nd April, the same impact you will have something similar again almost 6 months later. And then the most important thing here is from 7th March all the way till the end of year, transit Rahu and transit Saturn are having a direct aspect. That's a very important thing, particularly for those whose Mahadasa is Saturn like mine, or those whose Mahadasa is Rahu. And depending upon the house that Saturn owns and depending upon the position where Rahu is residing, the impact will be visible clearly. Welcome to Sastry Karra's astrological series. This is the second presentation for Sidereal Ephemeris year 2019 transit analysis. In the last presentation, I explained the planetary positions for the year 2019 based upon the Sidereal Ephemeris. In this presentation, I'll be analyzing the impact of prominent persons, the transit analysis, and just to give the predictions to the best of my educational knowledge. Please note that this presentation is purely educational, and this presentation is based on the knowledge that I have when it comes to the astrological principles. It has nothing to do with for any other purposes, and please note that I will not be responsible for anything that comes out of based on if anyone has taken any decision or any opinions about this presentation or based on this presentation. I will not be responsible for this one. And as I said earlier, this is completely educational purposes, and my only intention is to make sure that whatever the astrological principle that I am aware of and that I am using, I want to explain to a wider audience and show them how to do the transit analysis based upon the Sidereal Ephemeris. Okay, now let's take the first example. Usually what happens is that when I take any example of any prominent person, I make sure that the person's date of birth, place of birth, and the time of birth is available. It's more common that this view in Wikipedia or in any other famous internet reliable sites, you come across some prominent persons, just the date and place of birth only. You won't be knowing their exact time of birth. There's a website called Astro Data Bank where there is a possibility to know what is the time of birth depending upon the ratings. So here what I felt is like, why don't I pick up a prominent person who has no time of birth, the time of birth is unknown, and then try to explain to the viewers how I can analyze that particular person's transit analysis for a given year. Since under these circumstances, prediction is extremely difficult, and not only difficult, even different, as there is no ascendant. According to Hindu astrology, when you have the ascendant, all the predictions are the destiny, and all the predictions based with Chandra Lagna or Moon as the ascendant is the intention that the native has in his or her mind. So the other option is to generate the chart with Natl Moon as the ascendant and then superimpose the transit and planets on that particular chart and provide the possible events, which is generally, in my opinion, less than 50% accurate. Sometimes what I do is that once the transit analysis based on the Chandra Lagna is completed, I go and use the Bhrigu Chakra Padathi to see is there a way I can cross check whether my prediction that I have predicted based upon the Chandra Lagna is possible. If so, how much guarantee assurance can I have it on that one? Here I took the Vice President's birth details and prepared the chart. First, we need to, before we even validate, move further and provide any predictions, my basic principle is to validate the past events. So based upon Wikipedia, what I came to know is that he got married in the year 1985. We don't know the month, so so when I do the analysis, I have to do for the whole year. And the second thing is on 8th November 2016, he was being elected as the vice president. So these are the two major events that I am going to take and then analyze the events based upon the Bhrigu Chakra Padathi first, and then explain more in detail later. Now let's start with analyzing the past two events. In year 1984, that means the NATO completed his 25th birthday on May 31st, 1984, and 27th birthday is on May 31st, 1986. So between the year 1984 and 1986 May, that is the 2 years. In those 2 years, the NATO got married. If you look at it, according to Bhrigu Chakra Padathi, it says that Venus is the cycle ruler for both the days, for both the years, and when the NATO was completed his 25th birthday, second house got activated. Venus activated the second house from its natal position. So first let's go and see where is Venus. Venus is in the second house from Moon. So the second house is Kutumbasthanamo, and Venus activated the third house, that is from Moon. So Venus is, because it is residing in the second house from Moon, and Moon is the owner of that particular house, the possibility is very high for the NATO to get married before May 31st, 1985, or at least have the intention or the event got initiated during that period, that is between May 1984 and May 1985. Now let's go and look at the second one, that is the NATO got elected on 8th November 2016, which is after 57th birthday and before 58th birthday. And look at it, Mars is the cycle ruler, and Mars activated the 10th house from its natal position. 10th house from its natal position is a house owned by Mars itself. So when it activated the 10th house, it has what you call the house from Moon. The 10th house is career. So the NATO has activated the Mars, but we don't know what the ascendant is at that point. So we cannot exactly say how the NATO got into the government employment or as a leader. So but we know that from this chart, Mars has activated the 10th house from its natal position, which is its own house. Now let's start analyzing the transit analysis based with the Moon as the Chandra Lagna. Okay, so when you take Moon as the Chandra Lagna, the 7th house is Sagittarius. That's where the natal Saturn is residing. And then from Moon, with Moon as the Chandra Lagna, Sun is in the 12th house, and the Sun is the 3rd house lord from Moon. So when you look at the transit analysis on 1st January, Sun, Mercury and Saturn, all the three are going to be in Sagittarius. That means all the three are going to co-join with the natal Saturn, which is in the 7th house. Remember, from moon, Saturn is the 8th and 9th house lord. So 8th house is secret dealings, 9th house is dharmasthanam, and now sun, because the sun and Saturn are bitter enemies, transit sun and transit Saturn already, they both are bitter enemies, and they are now going to co-join with natal Saturn. So Saturn, both the natal and transit Saturn, they both are in the same zodiac sign Sagittarius, indicates that there's a high possibility for Saturn to be the rule for that particular ruler. That way it tries to subdue sun. Sun in generally means leader or leadership skills, and Mercury in generally deals with communication. So this Saturn, both natal and transit Saturns, they both are going to put pressure or create some hardships to the native pertaining to leadership skills or as a leader and communication skills, because that deals with Mercury. And then on 5th and 6th January, this is very important. If you look at it on 5th and 6th January, even natal transit moon is also going to be in Sagittarius. And from moon, this is the 7th house. So transit moon is directly looking at natal moon along with residing with the natal Saturn, transit sun, transit Mercury and transit Saturn. So these 2 days are very, very crucial for the native, because the both transit and natal moon are looking at each other. Transit Saturn and natal Saturn are co-joined, moon being the mind. These are the 2 days plus or minus 1 day. That means from, I should say, all the way from 1st January till 7th January, that whole week, I would say, it will be very crucial for the native when it comes to mind, which means there will be a lot of mental stress, mental anxiety, anguish and chaotic thoughts, something dealing with mind, not brain, mind. And then you go all the way till March 29th March till 22nd April, transit Jupiter. Oh my gosh, I forgot before that. Transit Jupiter is in from 1st January all the way till 29th March. Transit Jupiter is also co-joining with natal Jupiter in the 6th house. From moon, it's in the 6th house. So the 7th house lord is in the 6th house from moon. And remember, there in the 7th house, Saturn transit and natal Saturn are co-joining. In the 6th house, transit and natal Jupiter are co-joining. Because Saturn is in the 7th house from moon, it owns that house, and Jupiter, the owner of the house, could do nothing. And that 6th house deals with employment conditions, so and illness also. So there is some sort of a chaos in the when it comes to the employment conditions. This starts from January 1st 2019. Actually it might have started earlier, but I'm talking only about the Sidereal Ephemeris for the year 2019. So when it comes to 29th March, transit Jupiter is in the Rashi Sandhi. That means it is very close to Sagittarius. That's where the natal Saturn is residing, and also the transit Saturn residing there. So from 29th March till 22nd April, transit Jupiter is now in Sagittarius, connecting, co-joined with transit Saturn and natal Saturn, and they all are in the 7th house from the natal moon. So there is a rule that states that whenever Saturn and Jupiter co-joins in any house, it creates disappointments or hurdles to the house owned to the house of Aries or Mesha. Here from moon, Mesha is the 11th house. The 10th house lord is Jupiter, residing in the 6th house, and that particular Jupiter, transit Jupiter, is in the 7th house. So it indicates that there will be some sort of a financial instability during that 1 month period, along with chaos in employment conditions, career, and all these will be resulting into some sort of a mental anxiety. Earlier I did talk about transit Jupiter and transit Saturn and the issues until April 22nd. But there is another thing. Starting 7th March 2019, transit Rahu will be entering Gemini. Right now, that means in the December 2018, transit Rahu is in Cancer. For this particular NATO, it is touching Venus and Jupiter. Oh, this was written in my native language, Telugu. Forget about it. This is my worksheet. I just scanned it and put it over here because it will be very easy for me to explain my worksheet, seeing my worksheet rather than the other stuff. Now, transit Rahu, if the inclination of transit Rahu right now in December, January, February, these 3 months is 2 degrees. So from 2 degrees it goes all the way to 0 degrees retrograded, and that means from Cancer it goes to Gemini by March 7th 2019. So when transit Rahu enters Gemini in March 2019, it's going to coincide with Natl Moon, and it's going to have a direct aspect on the Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the house where the NATO has the natal Saturn. Transit Saturn is going to be there by the time transit Rahu enters Gemini, and just a few months later transit Jupiter is also going to come and enter Sagittarius. So this is a very, very important combination which might result into a number of other issues because this is the 7th house. And then Mars activates between, that's another indication. Now when you look at the year 2019, from January 2019 all the way till May 2019, that means when Rahu is in Gemini, according to Bhrigu Chakra Padathi, Mars is going to activate the 12th house from its natal position. Mars is in Cancer, so the 12th house is Gemini. Oh, great. So exactly from 1st of January till March 23rd 2019, Mars is activating Gemini where Natl Moon is residing. Transit Rahu is going to enter Gemini in March, and not only that, when Mars has activated the Gemini house, that is between 518 and 519, remember transit Saturn is already there, co-joined with natal Saturn and looking at Gemini, direct aspect. And also for some period transit Jupiter is going to enter Sagittarius, co-join with the Saturn, and for some period. So if you look at it, those are the periods that are very challenging for this particular native. Now that I have given individual analysis for this particular native from different perspectives, let me summarize the yearly prediction for this particular native. So from 1st January till 14th January, transit Sun, Mercury and transit Saturn, all the three are co-joined in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius being the 7th house from Natl Moon, there will be a lot of mental stress and anguish, along with issues pertaining to leadership and communications. This is for that particular, the impact for the native because of this combination. The second one is 15th March till 8th May. Transit Jupiter resides in Scorpio, will be in Rashi Sandhi. Rashi Sandhi means the inclination of the transit planet, if it is above 28 degrees, and that means just 2 degrees before 30 degrees is the full house. So after 28th degree till in the next house below 4 degrees. So 28, 29, 30 in first house, in one house, 0 to 4 degrees, all these 6 degrees. The planet is called, said to be in Rashi Sandhi. Sandhi means in cusp. So this is the zodiac sign cusp. So when the planet is in that position, the planet is neither belongs to one house nor the other house. So there is a possibility for multiple events to happen, or an event seems to be happening and all of a sudden it fails. So the same thing goes over here. From Moon, Jupiter, natal Jupiter is the 10th house lord residing in the 6th house. 10th house is career. 6th house deals with the debts, illness and employment conditions, which is the Rogasthanamo. And now already, if you look at it, already natal Jupiter is retrograded and transit Jupiter is going to co-join it. Right now it is there. So when transit Jupiter begins its Rashi Sandhi, the possibility is that it might have some sort of a disturbance in both the 6th and 7th houses because of the way the Rashi Sandhi is being done. So it will have a partially negative impact on career and employments. That's the houses that Jupiter owns. So the next one is 22nd April to 23rd April. That's one day. That's the day when transit Jupiter is going to be stationary. This is a very important day when it comes to career and employment conditions for this particular NATO. Also, since the 6th house deals with illness, the NATO's health might be a challenging too. The next one is 23rd May till 24th May. Transit Saturn is in stationary mode. This is another important date that we have to keep in mind for this particular NATO, because first of all, natal Saturn is in Sagittarius, transit Saturn is also in Sagittarius. Now on that particular day, transit Saturn will be in stationary mode. Natal Saturn is the lord of the 8th and 9th houses. 8th house deals with secret dealings or secret affairs. 9th house deals with the Bhagyasthanamo, that is wealth, and Dharmasthanamo, which is ethics. Dharmasthanamo means ethics. So with transit Saturn being stationary on that day, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. Let me wait and see. The remaining two, that transit Saturn having a direct aspect on transit Mars and transit Sun, which I'm not going to talk about. The next one is from 1st September to 2nd September, transit Jupiter will be in stationary mode. Exactly the way on 22nd and 23rd April it happened, something similar will be happening. And transit Saturn will be in stationary mode on 5th or 6th of October. That's exactly the way on 23rd and 24th May, whatever happens there. And then this is very important. From November 11th till the end of the year, transit Jupiter and transit Saturn are co-joining in Sagittarius. There is a rule which states that whenever the Jupiter and Saturn co-joins, whether it is transit or natal planets, whatever their role is, but whenever these two planets co-join, it spoils the Mesha or Aries house characteristics or bhava. If you look from Chandra Lagna, Mesha Aries is the 11th house. 11th house is Labhasthanamo, or financial gains or losses. So when from November 11th till 31st December, when transit Saturn and transit Jupiter are co-joins in Sagittarius, and they both co-join with natal Saturn and having a direct aspect on Moon, so something pertaining to financial gains or losses will be highly visible. The last thing that I want to talk about is from 7th March till 31st December. Transit Rahu will enter Gemini. So this is a very important thing that we have to keep in mind. Whenever Rahu, irrespective whenever transit Rahu enters any particular house, whatever the house, that particular house characteristics will be chaotic. It creates chaos in that house, and it will make the planets in that house very, very unstable. Because the house is very chaotic, the planets will be in unstable mode. So what happens is that if the planet is a benefic planet, it will do less benefic, it will be not be doing enough benefits to the NATO. At the same time, if the planet is a malefic planet, it will do more bad for that particular NATO because of the Rahu co-joining. Here in this particular chart, transit Rahu is conjoining with Natl Moon, so the native's mind will be stressed out and it will be very chaotic, very, very chaotic. To add further, transit and natal Saturn are having a direct aspect on this transit Rahu, and also sometime from November onwards, transit Jupiter is going to is going to enter Sagittarius. So all this planetary combination will create a noticeable mental anguish for this particular native, especially from March through December 31st. That's on for sure. And then when you want to go a little bit deeper to see what exactly might be, is what you have to see from on the above dates that I have mentioned. Thank you for watching this presentation. This is the generic presentation about the Sidereal Ephemeris for the year 2019, the important planetary combinations and the possible impact is what I tried to explain in this presentation. This is the first part of it. In the second part, I'm going to pick 2 or 3 examples and predict how the day 2019 will be. Thank you very much.